Okay. Well, hey there. My name is Kat Bujard, and I am working with Beyond Academics this summer, and I am here with the Garden Club. Yay! Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Okay, so the president of the gardening club. I'm an English major with a French minor, and yeah, I love gardening. So questions, email me if this video doesn't explain them. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Zaire Miles Moultrie. I'm a dual major and I'm going to get my BS in entrepreneurship and my BA in studio art. I am a minor in creative writing, and I'm the treasurer of the gardening club. You can email me, but I am going to be super busy majority of the time. So if you have any questions, you gotta at least wait like a day or so.
Yeah, that's a-okay. I think it's totally understandable. I think everyone is super busy, so we'll definitely give you some grace, like a grace period to answer any emails. But awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this interview today. And just for clarification, to make sure that I'm using the right words, do you call it garden club or gardening club?
Gardening.
Okay, it's like, okay, so it's officially garden club, but everybody calls it gardening club, and so like it's kind of just an interchangeable name. So if you approach me and were like, hey, how's gardening club, I'd be like, cool. It's just one of those things. If you want to call it garden club, do it. Dr. A usually calls it garden club because officialness, but usually we just call it gardening club or garden club. Oh, Dr. Ray is our advisor. I just realized our viewers might not know that. But Dr. Ray is our advisor, and she's really awesome. We love her.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for including that because our listeners might not know who you're talking about. So thanks.
Exactly.
Okay. So my very first question is, who is your club for?
Really, really, it's for anyone and everyone to come and join, because it's like there's really no intended major, because like I said, I'm a business major and a art major, so I really have no correlation with gardening anywhere, nowhere near my fields of interest. So like people can come in and just do whatever, because like there's like multiple people in the club. Like there's a couple biology majors, then there's I think a psychology major in there and another business major. And then you got Michaela, president over here, her English major.
Awesome. Awesome. So all majors, all different kinds of people. Do you notice that like it sounds like there's no certain majors, but like, does it seem to be like more men or women or certain type of, you have to be this tall to enter?
No, not from my experience. UNCG, I'm pretty sure their population, like, I think we have we have a slighter percentage that's greater in women. So we have, I think, we accept anyone who comes. Like usually, I think most of the time we have more women than men, though. But that's because I don't know. I feel like some men just feel like they might not fit in because it's gardening club, and a lot of times in like media, gardening is presented as more of like a feminine thing. So if they're, but like anyone could come, it doesn't have to be a masculine or feminine thing. My my dad's a farmer, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that you brought that up because I do think, at least maybe in my mind, in my experience, I have kind of thought as gardening as more of a female thing, but I like that men and women and anybody can come. So that's really cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I think it shifts depending on the season too, because like during the gardening season and fall season, you may see like a little less people, but during like the winter season where we're actually planting stuff out, you may see more people. So it's still like quite a mix, but it's just like I gotta agree with what Michaela said. It's like only slight. It's a slight difference.
Okay.
Early fall is usually when we're doing some like early harvesting, and then we do some planting, and then we continue a little bit. But once it gets later into the semester, we move inside, and like we mostly we usually plarn is what we call it. It's where you take plastic bags and crochet it together, and we do it to make bed mats that are easily rolled up, and we donate those and they give them out to the homeless. So that's usually what we do in the off season, and then gardening starts back up again. And when do we usually start back up again, Miles?
We usually start back up again around like around March.
That's what I
Around
was
March.
thinking. Yeah, I think yeah, because March is when we first start. You get your early planting done, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is stuff I had no idea about. And I'm sure as I continue asking some of my questions, like you might bring this stuff up again.
Yeah.
But that really helps. Yeah. Cause I didn't know what happened. I didn't know if maybe we were just going to be outside every time we meet or what might happen. So
Preferably not in 30-degree weather. We will not be meeting outside, or if
When
it's
it's
pouring
raining.
rain, we will probably not be meeting.
We'll
But
be inside drinking tea.
yeah, we have our Instagram though, so like we also have like our email chain, but usually we put on our Instagram if we're not meeting a certain day because of weather or something like that. So
okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. That helps. So that leads directly into my next question. Where and when does your club meet? And do students need transportation to get there?
No, not from my experience. Of course, I've always lived on campus, but most of the time when it's planting season, I almost said seasoning. When it's planting season, we meet at the UNCG garden, which I got lost on my first time going there. But it's not hard to
Same.
find. I just got
Same.
lost because I have a bad sense of direction. So like it shows up on Snapchat maps if you guys follow your way through that. Like I called one of my friends and he was like, Michaela, it's so easy. Just like I'll guide you there. It's okay.
Oh,
But it's right next to like if you know what's that, like where Reynolds is, and then
Oh,
there's that
it's right near the
one they
towers.
just recently remodeled, Cone.
Yeah,
The parking deck next to that, it's like right across from that parking deck. Yeah.
it's like straight
So
across.
it's
It's right near the towers.
yeah.
okay.
So like I'm not explaining it well. I
Well,
think
I'm
we
just,
have a map on our website or something. If we don't, we'll put one up there because it's not hard to find, but it's hidden out of the way.
Like it's easy to
But
miss.
that's during planting season.
It's easy to miss,
I'm
and I
just
have
bad at explaining it.
I had the same experience as Michaela, because like the first time going to gardening club, I was completely lost, as in like I didn't know where to go. So I ended up walking all around campus, like even Tate Street, up Gardening Street, and then I walked past the parking deck, and then I seen Dr. A. She was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, so this is where the garden is." And she
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, this is where the garden is. Like we have clubs every Wednesday." I'm like, "Oh," and then I looked to my left. I'm like, "Are you serious? My dorm is right there."
wow.
There's a
So,
sign in front of it that says UNCG Gardens, I think, is what it says. Yeah.
okay. Okay. But it's on campus. So
Yes.
if
Yes,
students
it's
are
on campus.
they should be able to find it. And it's right near which parking deck?
What's the parking deck near Cone?
I don't know. I don't think it's Oakland. It's the other one. The
There's Oakland, and then
God, why
there's
can't I remember? Yeah, I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look it up real fast.
okay. I just want to make sure. Let me look it up too.
I should
UNCG.
definitely know what it is, but I don't apparently. So let's pull up a
We get so used to walking to it that we
Yeah.
don't really.
We don't
like,
think about it.
Oh yeah,
I
while
know
you guys are like searching that up, like
Mhm.
during the off season, we are in Graham building.
Yes.
In the
So
what building?
Graham.
Graham. Okay. There's Oakland.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let
There's
me
Walker
zoom in.
Deck.
Is
I think, is that
Is
it?
it near the Bryan
is Walker
School?
the one across? No, it's
No.
not near the Bryan School. It's on the other side of campus.
So
So
it's
it's
Oakland.
see, let me find it. I'm looking. Where are you? I'm looking at a map right now, so if my face looks weird, I'm sorry.
It's
But
okay.
let's see. Faust Park. McIver Deck. It's McIver Deck.
Awesome. Awesome.
McIver, however it's pronounced. But it's right across from that, not where the Sullivan Science, like along the side of it. So it's like right across the street from the side. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now, because I have to say, as someone who doesn't live on campus, I don't know which residence halls or which ones.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Perfect.
Sorry, that took so long.
My next question is, if we are distance learning in the fall, so meaning that COVID strikes again and we can't be all together, how does Garden Club expect to kind of move forward? Like, is there a plan?
We haven't talked about that yet. We really should, but I think because I know this past semester we just didn't have like a club at all afterwards because like we were going to start planting season, but that didn't get to happen. And I know Dr. A and our other advisor, but I can't remember his name right now, which is really bad because Dr. A is the more hands-on and he's like a more distance kind of check-in advisor, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But we're working with the garden, I'm pretty sure, because they have access to all of that. But I know or they said that nobody could be on campus anymore. So I'm not exactly sure like what's been happening to it now. So for all I know, it's covered in weeds, which is really sad. But like we haven't figured out the plan for the whole thing yet, because I know it would be kind of hard to like plant stuff while you're not there. So, but I don't know. We could always do a thing where we meet every week and do like presentations about something, or we just get together and talk, because it's a nice social thing too. If you don't talk to a lot of people, it's a good place to make friends. So
Yeah.
Really chill people. A lot of chill people.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, so if you guys, whenever you, let's see, I think I do have a question about, let me look, like how you guys market or advertise to students. So like whenever, you guys do make decisions about like where and when you're going to meet, if we're going to meet in person, like where can students expect to like check out that information?
Wait, do you want to
go
take this?
ahead, Zaire. No, go ahead.
Usually how it works and like how we market is usually a chain email that goes out to anyone that's already on the email list, and then they can also check out the Instagram, which is usually updated about weekly about the location where we are, like where we're going. And then if we having an event, even though we didn't really have any events last year due to like all the stuff that was happening and then some, there usually will be like a little update on Instagram about it. And then there's also the website, which does give some heads up, but is much more reliable for either the website or not the website, the Instagram or the email.
Yeah. I know that the way I found Gardening Club was through one of my friends who was their social media coordinator at the time. But she resigned from that position because she had too much going on. But I know like they go to like some of the events that they do with like where they showcase all the clubs at the start of the year. I know they do some of that, but I've never personally had like the availability in order to go this coming year. If that happens, I'll have more availability. But like, it's just kind of, I know we do that, but I feel like we need to step up our game a little bit because I feel like we're not reaching as many people as we can. So we got to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe hopefully this video can be
Yeah.
helpful so that
Hopefully.
people can watch it.
Well,
Um,
yes,
like,
hopefully.
yeah, because like I agree with your sentiment. Like oh, I said sentiment. Oh. No, but I agree with you. But it was like, yeah, it was like the amount of people that hey, I'm part of, like, I told them I'm part of UNC gardening club. They're like, we have a garden? I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
we have a garden.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe, you know, I can share the Instagram page as well as the website page so that people can
That would be good.
know how to access it.
Yeah.
Cool. And then
That
they'll
would
see
be
the
good.
video too. So, I know it sounds like you've got two different places where you guys meet, the actual garden, and then you
Yes.
said you meet in Graham if it's like the off season or maybe it's too cold or rainy
Mhm.
or what have you. What kind of environment can students expect like at either location, be it like the noise level or traffic or like access to bathrooms or like is it going to be, you know, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't know. What is the environment kind of like at either of these two places?
So all right, because all right, the environment for me, because like technically speaking, this is my like my first year in gardening club, and Michaela, this is like your third year or second year?
It's my second year.
Yeah, like for me, like how I came in, it was like really chill. Everyone was really welcoming. They're like, "Oh, you don't know how to do this? Let's show you right quick." And it's like they
Mhm.
were really open about it, about teaching you how to work some of the tools, how to weed the plots, planning, all of it. They're like really open, really chill, really supportive. The bathrooms, it's kind of harder during the on season because you have to go into the parking deck to use the bathroom, and that's a maze to get through. And then, but the off season is really easy because you're in Graham. You just need to remember where the bathrooms are. Um, what else was part of that question? Sorry.
No, no, you're fine. Really anything that you wanted to mention. So like if we were outside, I guess some of the things to expect with the outdoors is like, well, it kind of might be hot.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
there might be some bugs.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
There will definitely be bugs and dirt and a lot of hot because sunshine. So always, if you come to garden club, bring a water bottle so you can stay hydrated. And also, don't wear super nice fancy clothes because they will get dirty. And then you'll be very sad because your
They will
favorite outfit will be ruined.
they will get
So
messed
yeah.
up.
okay.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
we play in the dirt a lot. Like
Yeah.
a
It's a
lot.
very, if you don't, okay, if you don't, if you aren't accustomed to getting into dirt and like pulling out weeds and stuff like that, it can take some getting used to. Personally, like we provide gloves and all of like the necessary supplies, but most of the time I don't even use gloves just because for me it's easier to just, so my hands are like my nails have dirt underneath them sometimes and like my hands are all dirty, but it's part of the fun, you know, like so if you even like the prospect of like nature or you're just looking for an outlet for like just to like we pulling weeds, some of the weeds are really hard to get out, so if you have some built up anger, like it's all
Yeah.
for you. We'll
Actually,
happily let you do
if you give me 1 second, I'll be right back to finish off that question.
it.
Yeah, yeah. You're fine. Yeah, I think you started talking too a little bit about like some of the social norms for the space. So
Hmm.
like one of the social norms is that most people bring a water bottle because they know it's going to get hot and they're going to be moving around in the dirt.
Hmm.
So you're going to get thirsty, right? And then also not to wear like your Sunday best or like your
Yeah.
best outfit. Um, anything like what about you mentioned that you guys um give gloves. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that like I should know about or bring?
Well, usually when I go, I always come prepared with my water bottle. And I usually, if I'm straight out of class, I'll bring my whole backpack just because I'm too lazy to take it back to my dorm. But that's just me personally. But usually if I'll bring like a little drawstring bag and like have maybe like a pen or like something in there in case I need to write on something and we're short on a pen. But also, like you should also bring containers when it's starting to be harvest season because all the garden food we distribute it amongst the members, like the stuff from our gardening club. So you can take it home and like eat it and stuff, which is why during the off season we choose like what seeds that we are gonna plant, because that way we know who's gonna eat what and who's gonna use what, so nothing goes to waste, if that makes sense. So bring a container or something you can store stuff in, like just so you can take
Awesome.
it back to your room with you or something.
Yeah. Are you good
Welcome
today?
back, Zaire.
My bad. Sorry, I had to do something.
No, you're fine. That's a-okay. We were just talking about what maybe some social norms were. Like you might bring some containers if you want to take some goodies home with you.
Oh yeah, you should
Hmm.
bring some container.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who like during the harvest made bank. I had
It's so
that
much food.
So
like
maybe this is a question I should have led with. Like, what kind of garden is it? Like, I guess in my mind I thought flowers.
No,
oh
it's a
no,
vegetable garden.
It's a
it's a
vegetable garden.
it's a
Oh
vegetable and
goodness.
Yeah.
flower garden.
So like I
Mainly
know the library, they like we rent out plots to various people in order to just keep the gardens funded. But like I know the library rents out a plot and they plant flowers like every year. So like we don't normally plant flowers. Like there may be a few that somebody wanted to plant, but most of the time it's vegetables. We usually plant like a lot of tomatoes, some herbs. I don't know if we did last year, but we had some cucumbers.
yeah.
And then we grew some squash at one point, but we had some trouble with the squash because like it was hard to get out because it was so like all the leaves were everywhere. It was a whole thing. But like
Yeah.
it doesn't make it any less fun. But yeah, and then
What
so
about the watermelon there too?
did we have watermelon? I don't think I was there
Yeah,
when you
there
guys
was
grew
a watermelon.
watermelon.
Like when I came in, there was a watermelon there. Like it was hidden under the vines, and we're like, "Oh, there's
Mhm.
a watermelon here."
Yeah.
Then there's a couple eggplants, and then I know we have some wild mint there.
Yeah.
Like
So much
mint
mint.
so much. And then
They
there's
planted it and it's just basically a weed now that we just don't really cut back that much and it's just sprawling all over the place. So if you like mint, we have plenty of mint.
just
Okay.
like,
So if you
hey,
want to make some tea.
Yeah.
there's rosemary, then there's peppers.
Yeah, we
There's
grow some
we
peppers.
we had kale until the bunny ate it. That was a
Yeah.
very fun part.
Oh, I
Um,
think we were talking about growing lettuce and cabbage, but I don't know if that actually, if like, you guys ever did that. Because I wasn't there for a semester because I couldn't fit it into my schedule. I think it was like a
oh yeah,
semester. Yeah.
we did do the lettuce by the time like harvest season, like by the time that we're actually going to like harvest it,
Hmm.
we had to leave. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
really wasn't anything we could have done about that. So hopefully it's still there. Probably not.
No, but
Yeah.
if the lettuce is there, it's probably bolted, so it wouldn't be any good. Oh, bolted means like it's grown out too much to be like eaten without it being like kind of gross, like because lettuce gets to a certain point and then if it I at least I grew up saying it bolts and then it just kind of gets like hard and weird and yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, it gets to a certain point and then it just doesn't taste as good.
Hmm.
So
Instead of
usually you try and harvest it before it bolts. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Zaire, I cut you off.
oh no, it's all right because you're a little bit more knowledgeable about lettuce. Like
That,
honestly, I'm
Grew
like,
up
oh,
on a farm. We've grown some lettuce.
yeah. Wow. So I'm learning new words. I'm learning new terms. I didn't realize that this was a vegetable garden, so I'm sorry I didn't lead with that.
Yeah.
Now I'm
That's
now
okay.
I'm
It's
like
a veggie garden.
now I'm like 10 times more excited because I'm like, not only do I get to have fun, but then I get to eat.
Exactly.
I think
Free food.
I think talking about their, I'm not sure if we do this, but like sometimes the food do go to like the Spartan pantry.
I don't know. I think that's if we have too much, but I think usually we eat all of it or at least separate it up. But I think in the past we've grown food for Spartan Pantry, but I don't know if we've done that recently or not. That's something we
Mm.
could start up, dedicate a plot or two to that. That would be a good idea. I should write that down. Where's
Yeah,
my
you probably
post?
should.
See, now we're just like coming up with ideas now. See, this was a good
Yeah,
idea.
this is perfect. Brainstorm. So I heard, Michaela, you said that one semester it didn't fit into your schedule, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you guys said this specifically. Is there a certain time or day that you meet, or has it not been decided yet?
We usually meet Wednesdays at 5, and then depending on where we are, I think it's like 3 hours total. We meet from like 5 to like 7 normally, right, Zaire? But like sometimes people leave early or come late, and that's totally fine. Like we'll put you in wherever. Just like show up, and we'll put you to work or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, like
So
for me next semester, I know Wednesdays is going to be like a little packed for me, but I have a little time to go to gardening club, do what I want to do, have some fun, then leave and go to class.
yeah,
Even though that's like when I leave, it's going to be giving me like 10 minutes to get to class, but
it'll be worth it.
it's like it's worth it because like it's fun. It's like it's super fun. It gives me something more to do than just like go to class, go to my dorm, go to the library. It just like gets me like out of my dorm and like garden. That's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
talk to people.
If you find yourself trapped in your dorm a lot, you want to spend more time outside and make some friends while doing it, garden club's for you.
Wow.
So that's
Yeah.
my
Oh,
best
wait.
way to express it.
Can we circle back to one question right quick?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
It was about it was when Michaela was talking about the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, I'm allergic to grass and everything under the sun. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to wear the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you are allergic to anything, please take your allergy medicine beforehand and always have an EpiPen on you
Yes.
just in case. Because for me, I have an EpiPen bag 24/7 and it's not far out of reach for me. So if anything happens, I can grab it. But please do have one because we do not want to have an accident on the garden
Yes.
grounds.
Yeah.
We also, when it's your first meeting there, whether you decide to stay with the club or not, we make you sign a form, just like it's an accident thing that, like, I guess it's a liability form, like for bee stings and things like that. Like normally we have first aid stuff on hand, but like just to be safe, it keeps the garden club protected, but also it helps like protect the new members in the future and things like that. So we always make them sign that, just because safety reasons, and we want to make them aware of what could happen and like them not just go into it blind,
Yeah. Yeah. And
because there have been bee nests and all sorts of things.
yeah.
And pollen can get crazy out there.
Yes.
Also, I heard Michaela earlier when I came back. It was like anger issues.
Yes.
Oh, you do have some anger issues. Pulling
do.
those bees will make you lose it. You'll by the end of
Sometimes.
it, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm calm now." That's like
Yeah.
there was some crabgrass that like took an entire plot, and we had to find the exact root for it. And I think I still had the picture on my phone, on my old phone, something. And I got the weed out, the crabgrass root, and it was about the size of my arm. And I felt so calm and so happy after that. I felt achieved because when I came in, I was so angry. After that, I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome."
It's a rewarding experience watching like your own labor like become actual food or just like making progress like that. Like honestly, one of my favorite parts is probably the weeding, because you just pick a plot kind of and you sit there and talk to people and pull out weeds at the same time. So like your social interaction comes from you talking to people while you're weeding and things like that, which I love. So
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, and going back with the social interaction part, because we do have bunnies on campus and they do sometimes eat our stuff. we do have to put up fences, and even during that, that's more social interaction time when you're putting up
Yeah.
the fence. Like you're talking to your partner, be like, "Hey, so how is so and so this, and can you also get that corner over there? Because like I need more wiring."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You guys are bringing up some great things. Like there's so many things like, the anger management and then
Mhm.
socializing and making
Yeah.
friends, like all these things that you're telling me, like I'm going to
And
ask
teamwork.
more about.
Yeah.
What's that?
And teamwork.
And teamwork. Yeah.
It's
You're
good
going
for
to,
teamwork
okay.
too.
This is so great. Thank you guys.
Oh, going back to the environment though, since
Yeah.
the garden is on like it's not on like a busy traffic road, you get like the occasional car. So there is like a tiny bit of traffic noise, but it's not loud or obnoxious. It's not like you're on Spring Garden or something like that. It's
Okay.
just like a small kind of, I don't want to call it a back road, but it's like a side road, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So there's not a lot. And then let's see, when we're in Graham talking about noise level, we can get kind of loud, but it's not like obnoxious loud. It's just we're really talkative. So, but like if there's a problem with that and we're like overstimulated or something, we can always be like, "Yo, guys, let's chill a little bit," because like we try to be very accommodating to what anyone needs, which is important. So,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Because I'm definitely going to ask about that here in a second.
yeah.
Um, but just thinking too about the social norms, like so kind of help me like walk through like a meeting, I guess. So, maybe it starts at 5.
Hmm.
Are we like talking or do people just go right in and they start weeding or like do we have like a game plan for the day or since some people might have to come late or go early, like do they just kind of like tell me what is expected, I guess.
Okay, so if you show up right at 5 and it's gardening season, at least this is from my experiences. You show up right at 5. You don't have to obviously, but when you show up right at 5, we kind of group up and we like say, hey, this is what we're gonna work on today. Gloves and stuff is over there. Sometimes we get new people come like all the time. So usually we'll do a thing. Hey, you got to fill out this form, and then like we'll get you to introduce yourself to like people, and we'll introduce ourselves to you, and then we'll actually get down to business. One of the first things, like if you get there early though, I know I used to do this a lot just to get it out of the way, and like a few other people we get there too. We have to water our garden because we don't have like a hose long enough, so we have a bunch of watering cans, so
Oh
we
yeah,
fill them up and take them across, and like yeah. So
yeah.
it takes
Even
quite a few watering cans. So if you get there early, or even if it's just after we started and we're still gardening, like you're more than welcome to help with that because yeah,
yeah. And
those get
then
heavy.
weekend duty, we do have some like there's usually a game plan, but like I'm going off of what you said about watering. We do have some weekend duties because like during the gardening season, during like when we get back, it's hot,
Hmm.
extremely hot, and we gotta keep the plots watered. So we
Yeah.
usually do have that, and we have it like I think it's every 2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody goes down and does it. I know in the past, I think Dr. A does it a lot, but I think we're trying to get students more involved in that, so it's not
yeah.
just her. So like, we have slots people can sign up for to do that.
I
I know sometimes I would just go down there and like pull weeds and stuff because I get bored in my dorm, or I'm just like I have nothing to do, or I'm just having a bad day. I'm like, I'm gonna go pull some weeds, and then I go do that, and then I feel better. So. I
yeah.
mean, but that's just what
I
I do. So
I did the watering the weekend duties for like 5 weekends in a row. Like I'm like, oh man, no one signed up for this spot. Well, I guess I got to do it. And then like I stopped what I was doing, nothing really important, or I'm
Mhm.
like walking from downtown Greensboro, like, man, I really want to go to the garden today. Let's see if anyone was there today. No, all
Yeah.
right, let's do this.
So sometimes you might walk there and you'll see somebody from the club just like weeding or something. That doesn't happen too often, but if it does, it's just like a fun extracurricular like outside club time. Usually we don't harvest outside of club time though because that's just mean and everybody deserves a share unless there's like
But
stuff on like about to like expired kind of stuff, then we take that. But it depends on how ripe everything is at the time.
Unless it's the
Like,
mint, you can take the mint.
yeah,
Honestly,
you can have the mint.
just
Like,
take the mint.
So much mint.
we have so much mint. It's ridiculous. It's just everywhere. Has it? I think last time I was down there, it was like it was expanding out of one plot towards another plot, and we had to
Yeah,
cut
it was.
down.
I think it was already in 2 plots. It was like
It's
it was
so
like already
bad.
it's just like 3 types of mints. We got spearmint, then we got regular mint, and I think there's lemon mint.
Wouldn't
I'm not
surprise
sure.
me.
I'm
But
like,
we need
what?
to. You're more than welcome to take it.
I
We
feel like
have too
Take
much.
it, please.
I feel like I need to go there today. I feel like I need to, like, after this phone conversation, I need to be like, I'm gonna get some
Oh,
mint.
So if you want to harvest some mint, always smell it first. Don't get up close and personal with your nose. Just smell it and make sure it is mint.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's black dots on it, do not take it because that means it's bad.
Yes.
You usually want to get the full green ones. And then, like, if you're going to harvest mint, you can cut the stem, and it's just going to grow back within a week.
It's horrible.
And I hate it. Like, I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah.
And the best way that, like, since I did this like 100 times already, why did you guys plant mint? Sorry.
It was
Um,
before I even like joined the club. We had so much mint. I think they planted it like a couple years before I joined, and it's just like it never stops. It's like it's a really nice herb to add to things. Like if you add mint to a salad, or you can make some great tea out of it. But oh my goodness, it spreads like a weed if it's not kept back properly. And oh my gosh, I'm terrified to go back to the garden and see what's happened to it in case
I
like
don't
it
want
hasn't
to
been
see
kept
it.
under control.
So, all right, back to what I was saying. The best way to actually boil it or make tea out of it is usually you can use fresh mint, which is like it's not as strong as dried mint.
Hmm.
So you have like a nice taste to it. And the best way to do it is like you either get like a paper towel and you can put it in your hot water unless you want to have like paper towel in there, but you can do it that way. And if you want to dry the mint, best way that I did this was like put it in a plastic bag, make sure there's no moisture in it, which is kind of hard, and you put it in the direct sunlight or a dark place
Hmm.
for like a couple of days or hours.
You can also do, instead of putting it into a plastic bag, you can always do the thing that I've seen some people do where they take like a whole bunch of it and they like kind of tie it together with something. I forget. Some people use like twine and then you just hang it up and it'll dry out that way if you put it in direct sunlight. So it's
Wow.
like whatever works.
That was, I feel like, oh my gosh, like right now, if you see me like looking over, I'm like checking my calendar to see what I have going on Wednesdays at 5. 'Cause,
You're
like,
more than welcome to come. We'd be
Like, you're
happy
more
to
than
have
welcome
you.
to come. Like,
We'd love to have you.
I want to come. I really want to come. I'm
You could
serious.
have some mint.
like you can
Mint.
You could have all the mint.
like take it, please. You
Oh,
don't need it.
Gosh,
We do
is
this.
incredible.
We grow some grape tomatoes, but they're like a special kind of tomato. I don't remember exactly what they're called. Dr. A would know. But what you do, like, this is one of the first things they made me do when I first joined. You pick one of them and then you put some mint with it. Was it mint? I think it's mint. Did they make
It
you
was
do this?
basil.
Basil. Okay,
It was-
I'm thinking
It
of
was
different.
basil. Like you can add mint if you want to,
Yeah.
because we encourage it.
Just
the
use
mint.
all the mint. But
And
it's really nice. You have to take it all into your mouth at one time though, because if you bite into it, the tomato is like so ripe and stuff, it can kind of like get all over you and you don't want that. But like they're so small you can easily like eat it in one bite, but it's the best. They're also
Gotcha.
really good with mozzarella. So if you take
Yeah.
some home with you, mozzarella, put some like mozzarella and like you could put some, I know my mom does it with like dried oregano or something. You could probably use fresh oregano too and like put a little
you haven't
like
noticed,
tomato and olive oil or something. It's so
we're
I-
close the second calling like the gardening club the cooking club, honestly,
good.
because like every week we
know.
share recipes.
Yeah, it's true.
You should have like you should have gardening club on Wednesdays, and then on Fridays is cooking club.
That would be interesting.
And not to tell you what to do, but this is just so exciting to me.
And I was like, because we do have eggplants.
Hmm.
Like there's a couple other things that we do. So like what I do with the eggplants even though we're dodging the questions right now, it's like what I do with eggplant is that
That's
I
okay.
like it.
yeah,
okay.
like we cut it. I cut it into like small slices with all the skin off, and then I would put it on a pan with like a very light layer of olive oil and put it in the oven. You do not want to like use the oven, like the oven top or any of that. You put it in the oven until it's brown, and then you take it out. You may want to flip it, slightly salt it, and then you got really good eggplant.
Um, my family does a similar thing, but I don't think we don't usually take the like outside off of it. We just wash it really good and cut it up, and then you put we use like a baking sheet, and you put like olive oil. I think my mom likes to use like oregano on that too, or like some, I can't remember what it is. My
Oregano.
family likes oregano and like basil and stuff, but put that on there and like some salt, and then you like put it and let it get like, I guess, kind of bake it kind of, and then
Yeah, you
like
do bake
really
it.
good. What I want to do is get an air fryer, and I want to try air frying it. I think that'd be interesting, but I haven't done it. So like, because air fryers are an investment. So like,
Mhm.
but you know, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like it'd be interesting to say the
I
least.
I think that sounds amazing. Oh, and maybe let me ask too. So like we're talking about all the fun and the social norms and what we do when it's
Hmm.
actually harvest season or like, planting, all that kind of good stuff. So when it is like winter or
Hmm.
things are kind of like not happening as much, what can we expect like from a meeting then? I think you said something earlier about it, Michaela, but I can't
Hmm.
remember. Can you?
Zaire, you want to get this one, or do you want me to?
Oh, I can get this one because
Okay, have at it.
I was there a lot more like during this semester during that.
Yeah.
So first off, we do encourage you still taking the mint because it still grows during the winter. It
It
never
just
stops
grows
growing.
all the time.
Okay, mint.
Uh, Secondly, on a more serious note, we do planting, which was basically we donate plastic bags and we cut them up and then we knit them into mats or blankets for homeless, and then we donate them to charities. I'm not sure which ones. Michaela probably has more information
We
about that.
have I forget what it is. We do it to one specific organization, and I can talk to Dr. A and I can get back to you on that. But I know, and we crochet them. We don't
Yeah,
knit them.
crochet, sorry.
You're fine.
It gets
It's just
mixed up
that,
in my head sometimes.
yeah, knitting and crochet are very different things though, so it's important to,
Yeah. So
but
that's during like the first half of the
mhm,
off season. We do crocheting, the planting. And then once that's done, we're still planting more into like around Christmas. Like it's just more of like a celebration vibe. We're just
mhm,
more socializing. We're just doing more. We're just talking more. And then after break, that's usually where we're planning, like
yeah,
what we're planning to plant next season. Because like I
mhm,
think this season we were supposed to plant like some squash
yeah.
and then broccoli, carrots. I think more lettuce, some more kale since the bunny ate the
Yeah.
last one. I'm still mad about that. Like I really wanted that kale. And then a couple herbs too. We're not planting any more mint. I cannot stress that enough. I
No more mint.
like
We're just gonna
that's
keep
a
bringing it
weed.
back to the mint.
Like we highly encourage you taking that mint. Please,
My
let God
interview will
take it.
say, "Garden Club, please take the mint." Like
Yeah,
that's
just make that your title. Garden Club, please take the mint. But
And
yeah,
then
so we also usually have tea and hot chocolate if you come to our like winter meetings. Um, Dr. A usually brings like, we have a hot water, like we heat up like water and stuff, and we have like some tea and hot chocolate. And Dr. A is really good about like bringing that. You can also bring your own if you have extra tea you want to share with the class, you know. Like we
uh,
love tea. If you don't like tea, you can bring yourself some instant coffee, I guess. So
yeah.
like,
Also, and during the off season, we do share recipes a lot, like a lot.
mhm.
So if you're ever hungry or feeling experimental, just like ask someone, and they'll give you like a book of recipes. Like,
We like to cook.
hey, yeah, we like to cook. Like, in my dorm building, we had like the kitchen in my dorm. It always smells like food because like a lot of gardening kids go there and just cook
Yeah.
all the time. It's just like, why does it always smell like good food in here? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Aw.
I make a lot of pasta. So like I can give you a bunch of recipes involving vegetables and pasta because I eat too much pasta. But like I know for a fact that concerning the off season, I know shoot. I had a thought and then I lost it. Um Concerning the off season, we've already said like the planning and planning and all of that, but I know we we end up with a lot of plastic bags that we use for planning, so we can always use more people because we have so many. And also, if you have extra plastic bags you want to donate, we will take them happily, because we like to help as many people as possible if we can. That's like we're important. I think one of our biggest things is like um, we grow food and I think all of our stuff is like organically grown too, so we don't use any like pesticides that would be like bad for the environment or anything like that. So
It's a lot of trial and error,
yes,
and like
so
it's like a
much.
lot for like it's a lot.
Hmm.
Like when I keep bringing up the bunny, that was a real bad error because we did
You're just
not.
upset.
I'm upset. Yes, I'm upset because I really wanted that tail. I
You're salty.
Yes, I'm really salty about it because like,
I remembered what I was gonna say.
oh wait, I'll let me finish this. I'll
No,
let you
go
have it.
ahead, go ahead.
So like one thing, like a lot of trial and error because like we didn't have the foresight to like have like put up the fences in time.
Hmm.
And so when the kale was actually budding and sprouting, rabbits came in and ate it.
Hmm.
So we're like, oh, this is going to be really good kale because it was like think about it was really big. It was getting up there. It was like nearly get done, like to actually
Hmm.
harvest and able to use it, and it was just gone. And we're like, oh, we need to like actually
Yeah.
put the fencing down this time because we have like an infestation of rabbits.
Yeah, it's a big thing right now. So don't feed the rabbits. If you
Please,
see them on campus, do not feed them. We have too many already. Do not feed the rabbits.
Don't
you're
feed
just
them.
encouraging them to
Don't
steal more
feed the
food.
squirrels because the squirrels will remember you and then they'll I have a funny story about that, but that has nothing to do with it. They'll
I have a
remember
funny
you and
story
then
about them too.
they'll bother you. So don't feed the wildlife, okay? Like you
Okay.
can look at them, you can get all close to them. Do not feed them. Like just
Please
don't.
don't.
They can get enough food on their own. Just don't feed them. But
Or they just steal it from us.
yes, I remembered the thing I was gonna say. Usually, at least before I took like my little bit of time off, I know we did a kind of potlucky thing. I think it was closer towards like the end of the semester, maybe like around Thanksgiving break somewhere in there.
Yeah,
We like before that or maybe like after that. If we do that again this year, we might not because of everything that's going on. But we get together and like everybody brings something. Like we kind of have sign up slots, but not really. So you can basically bring whatever you want. And like we just get together in Graham and like we have a bunch of food and we eat and we socialize and talk and drink more tea or whatever beverage you want to bring. Not
watch Christmas
not
movies.
anything like that. Everything has to be able to be drunk by minors. So no alcoholic beverages. But like, because it's a school function.
It is a
So
school function, so you're going to be eating in the building, so it needs to be
yes,
school appropriate. Okay.
exactly. Everything
Okay.
we do has to be school appropriate.
Okay.
So yeah,
Makes
there's
sense.
nothing, no illegal substances.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, my next question is, does it cost anything to join or to be an active member of Garden Club?
Oh, that's more my question.
Yes, that's for
Yeah.
you,
That's
Treasurer?
directly my
treasurer man.
question. All right, so there's an initial cost of $2, and that's usually it. So like your sign up fee, and then after that, that's it. You don't really ask for anything else. Just for you to like, if you're gonna continue, don't let that $2 go to waste and not show
Yeah.
up because like we really need the help and we really want you here because well, it's
Mhm.
a fun experience. Like who doesn't love free food?
Hmm.
But it's like more like come on, like please come. Like it's a really good social event,
Hmm.
social activity. You get to meet a lot of new people constantly. You get to learn a lot of new things that you probably didn't know. Like for
Hmm.
example, I like within the year I learned so much about gardening that I didn't know beforehand,
Hmm.
and like and makes you think about the future. And this is more going into like the business side of like sustainability. Even though sustainability isn't free, it just more or less teaches you how to like be self-important, like how to work ethic, and like team building, and like socializing with a whole bunch of different people.
Hmm.
And I'm back at it again. It's only $2 to join, and then after that, we usually don't ask for anything else. And
Yeah.
if you want to give more money, like good, now just go back into the garden.
Yep.
Okay.
I know some members, like I know in the past we've had some people who just didn't pay $2 and they keep showing up. I think I did that for a semester just because like I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to stay or not. I also didn't know about the $2 thing because nobody ever told me, but mostly what's
Yeah,
important is the main thing about the $2 is if you want to be able to vote on things involving the club, including leadership and things like that, like it doesn't really apply for like planting and choosing seeds and stuff because everybody has input on that. But if you want voting rights for certain things, whether it be designs for like if we ever decide to get t-shirts or something, which we were in the progress of working on at the time, but that never happened. But
we
like
can.
if we so if you want voting rights, really that's what the $2 is mostly for, to indicate that, and then we keep a list of everyone on hand. But like so the $2 is important to help sustain the club though, so if you really love it, you know, all the more the merrier. So
Like I
yeah.
think we can, like, even though we're not on, like probably won't be meeting as much, or if we do, it's probably gonna be very sparse. We can
Hmm.
probably do the t-shirts again, or try starting that up again.
Yeah, because we were trying to get like a new logo and everything like set up because we have one for the garden club email, but we, oh, if anybody who joins the garden club is an artist, we'd love some artistic input. Just saying.
Okay.
Like I'm not good at art. Zaire's
Oh, all
good
right.
at it,
No,
but
remember what I
like
said earlier?
other
I'm a
people.
dual major. Did you forget?
I did not
Business and
forget.
art.
You never
Hmm.
know. Okay, Zaire, don't get mad at me. We need more than one. Like, you're great and I adore you, but we need more than one option for like input on things. And you know I'm right. We're very
Yeah, you
community
are.
oriented. We like options. So
You
if
are.
you if you're artistically inclined, I'm sure Zaire would be very happy to work with you if you want to come up with an idea together. And then we can all vote on if we like it or not. Because
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Well, I think you've already answered this, but I'm going to ask again.
Hmm.
How welcoming is your club to new people or beginners?
Very, very welcoming.
Yeah.
Like, I think I told you, like, first time I showed up, Dr. A was like, "Oh yeah, this is the garden. Like, you want to come next week? Like, there's a spot. Like, we're just gardening here." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And the very next week I came, and she's like, "Hey, you're back."
Yeah.
And
You.
it's just like very open arms, very
Mhm.
welcoming, very warm, and very like, hey, if you messed up, they're like, "Oh, don't beat yourself up about it. It's a garden, crying out loud." And you can like work on this later. We can fix this later, and then if it's too bad, we can always fix it. So
Mhm. Everything's fixable. Like, if you're worried about messing up or something, don't, because everything is fixable. So, I mean, if you pull up the wrong plant, if the roots are still attached, we can just replant it. It's not that big of a deal as long as the roots will take root again. Like, losing one plant isn't going to kill us. Everybody, like, we love new people. So you can know literally nothing about growing anything. Like, even though I grew up on a farm, my knowledge is still limited. But like anything, you can just come in, we'll happily like talk to you about stuff and things like that. So like more the merrier, because meeting new people is fun, and I'm a very social person, but I'm better with faces than names. So if I meet you once and I don't remember your name, I am sorry. Zaire, how long did it take me to learn your name?
So you met me at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
You didn't know my
You learned
name
your
until the
name
middle of the
today.
year.
Yeah.
Like into the very middle
I
of the
didn't
year.
know his name. I knew who he was. I knew things about him, but I could not remember his name for the life of
You
me.
have my Instagram and everything, and my name is right there. I'm like, huh? I'm like, hey, Michaela. And you're
I'm
like,
like, hi.
hey.
I don't know your name.
Aw. Well,
I'm bad at names, okay?
it
No,
sounds
no, wait.
I could be friends with you for like 3 years. I think that happened once to me. I was friends with someone for 3 years. They told me their name twice and then I couldn't remember it. So I went out of my way not to use their name in any sentence. Like, it was so bad.
No, I'm still
That's how
confused.
bad
Like,
I am with names.
I was in your friend group. I knew everyone. I knew everyone. They knew me. I even knew your boyfriend, and he knew me. I'm like, hey, do you know my name? And you're like,
Don't shame me.
I'm shaming you. So this
I'm
is what,
bad with names.
so this is what you kind of expect from Gardening Club, honestly.
I love everyone and I love meeting new people. I will recognize your face and I will talk to you outside of club, but I may not know your name. And if I don't, I am very sorry and you will have to drill it into my head until I remember it. And that's
Yeah.
just how it is.
And
Dr. A is similar that way. Like, you can come to gardening club once, she'll recognize you immediately. She probably won't remember your name, but like she'll recognize you immediately and she'll be like, yeah, come back. We love you. Like, yeah, normal
yeah,
Dr. A stuff.
and this is like, and if this was like just a sliver of how we act and like how our dynamic is with Gardening Club, that's for everyone. It's like really homey. We're really, again, really open, and it's just like, hey, mistakes happen. We're
Mhm.
here, and like let's just have fun gardening the entire
Yeah.
time and make some jokes about it too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that feels really welcoming. Yeah, my
Mhm.
next question, which again, I feel like they wouldn't, I don't feel like someone could feel this way, but if they did, if a student felt intimidated or uneasy with getting involved, what would you say to them?
Do you
Oh,
need some help?
goodness. Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one. I
do you
mean,
need some help? Like,
I
what
don't
you
know.
don't know?
Let me think. I think most of the time when people are intimidated by stuff, and this is just me coming from my position as a French tutor, most of the time if people are intimidated by stuff, I just gently coax them into like the situation. Like, you build it up over time. So like, this is like a teaching strategy I've learned from doing French. Basically, you kind of introduce them slowly into like gardening. You can be like, hey, so we're doing this thing. Like, don't be like worried about it. Like, this is how you do it. It's super like easy. If you mess up, it's okay. And then you introduce them into like the more difficult stuff. Not that really any of it's that hard, but like, um,
Yeah,
I think it's more of a process of reassuring, because I think when a lot of people join, especially if they have no experience with gardening and they're just like looking for something to do, you can just be like, and they're almost always uncertain. And we're
yeah,
just always there to be like, you're doing great, bro. We're very encouraging. So
yeah.
if you ever feel intimidated, just like all you got to do is be like, say something, we'll be like, bro, you're fine. We got you. We got this. And like, honestly, most of us will start talking to you before you talk to us. So if we see you, we're just gonna be like, hey, you interested in garden club? Or if you're walking, like, if like you're just wandering around campus and like you're near the garden, we'll just be like, hey, you want to garden today? What are you doing? Like, that's what happens. Isn't that what happened to you, Zaire?
Yes, exactly. Again,
What we
again,
do.
walking by, just like, oh, hey, Dr. A said. I'm like, what? Oh,
Garden
I'm near the garden, so this is where it's at.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So
and it's
yeah, very inviting, very chill.
Yes.
and
No
this,
worries. There's no way to mess up. I mean,
Mhm.
unless you kill all the mint, though, right?
No.
I
You
would
can have
actually
like
be helping us then, just like, hey,
You
For
can
some,
have like you could kill off a majority of the mint and it would still come back.
like
Like
within the week, just
it'd still
mm,
probably be grown back by like the next week. Like not to the same extent, but there'd still be enough there where it's just noticeable growth and you're just like okay.
So again, like a lot of these questions, I feel like they're gonna just repeat some of the things we've said.
Yeah.
But how do you expect students to get involved with or engage in the club? So come garden?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just all you gotta do is show up. We'll put you to work, but it'll be fun work and you'll enjoy it. You may
And
not
not
think
even
you'll enjoy it, but you will. Trust me.
like you will, like not even that. Like even when we're not gardening, it's just like just come talk to us. Like we're always up for a conversation
Hmm.
about anything really. Cause like I think were you there, Michaela, when we had like an entire lesson about the US government?
Probably. We just talk about a bunch of random stuff. So
Yeah.
like we usually try to stay away from like political things though, but like just structures of things. And then I know in the past before I joined, the president I think not this last president, but the president before, she used to do a presentation on bugs in the off season. So like I don't know, it just whatever happens. We just kind of go with it. As long as you're not being like terrible or like being a total like awful person, then like it's chill. Cause
Okay.
like I don't know. You just kind of have to gauge the room. If you're socially awkward, you will fit right in because most of us are very socially awkward.
Yes.
Like,
Even though we talk a lot, we're socially.
I may not seem socially awkward right now, but in person, I will talk to you, but I will be very awkward about it. So, like, it's just one of those things. You just kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
So be friendly,
Yes.
come talk, maybe even just come watch. If
Yeah,
that
you can
makes
come
sense.
chill.
Yeah.
We don't
Like
care.
if you don't want to plarn in the off season, just come in and talk to us. Like most of the time we have it set up like I know in the off season we have like a bunch of people for like quite a few meetings. So some of us didn't have anything to do. So we just kind of stand around and talk about stuff and like just have
Mm,
conversations anyway, and it's just a fun thing to do. And you'll find people who you have similar interests with because we have so many different types of people who come. So like yeah.
How many people would you say are at a given club meeting? So like if we're out in the garden or whether it's the winter and we're plarning, how many people would you say are there?
Oh God, that'd be a good question for Brooklyn. She keeps attendance. What do you think, Zaire?
Um, so because I was there battling the entire season until March, because that's when things in my personal life just went off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Um, so during the season where we're doing early harvesting and some planting, like you'll see a fair amount of people, not a lot, a fair amount because it's hot. When it starts getting cooler, you start to see more people dribble into the garden. And then around winter, that's where you see about everyone in the gardening club start just showing up out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And then after that, during the off season, then when we start gardening again, it's still like the same amount until the very next season. So it's like
Yeah.
beginning is very low. That's what you expect at like the beginning of
Mm.
the school year. And then middle of the school year, you start to see more people show up, and then at the end, that's usually where we have our max numbers.
Yeah. I know during the off season, so like in the colder months, we have like a slight drop in people just because a lot of people are like, we're not going to be doing much because we're not out in the garden and stuff. We're called the garden club, but we do more than that. But I think I've said that like 4 times now. But besides the point, the yeah, so usually our highest numbers are during when we're like planting and harvesting, and in the off season they're lower. But that's usually when you like if you're there and you make friends though, like they'll probably still be there in the off season unless their classes are like really terrible. Because I
Yeah.
had that happen one year and I just couldn't like deal with it.
Like,
This was before I was president or anything, because I just became president this past semester. So yeah.
so that's usually how it rolls. Cause like even for me, like I'm the treasurer. I'm gonna be busy all the time, but like I'm just gonna show up whenever I can and
Mhm.
still put the money. Then I'm more or less talking to you like now,
Yeah.
Michaela. So like, I'm still gonna show up whenever I can, collect the
Yeah.
money, report all that good stuff, and
Mhm.
garden. But then when I can't, I will send you an email directly saying I will
Yeah.
not be here for that meeting. But majority of the time I'm still gonna be there.
You don't
Or
even have to send me an email. Like you can just like
oh yeah, I'm in a
text me
group
or
chat
something.
with you.
You
So
have my we're in a group chat now. But yeah, so like I'm really forthcoming with my like information. Like I'll happily give you like my Instagram or anything like that. Like I don't really
same here.
care unless you start like being weird, and then we might have a problem. But I haven't encountered that. I've never had that problem. But like just like in general, like I'm usually just like, you want to be friends? And they'll be like, yeah. I'm known to make people who don't talk very much talk to me and make them my friends. So if I do that to you, I'm sorry, but I'm also not, because like you'll eventually grow to love me, I promise. And if you hate me, you can just tell me and I'll be like, oh, but why? And then we can talk about it. See, there's no escape. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. But
This
like,
this
Zaire doesn't really talk that much, and I made him talk to me. So
I'm a talkative person. Yeah, you forced me to talk to you. I'm just like, I'm not gonna talk today. And you're like, Zaire. I'm like, oh, I gotta talk now. I could be like minding my business, listening to music, be like, Miles. I'm like, God damn, yes.
don't swear. We're in.
it's
I
okay.
said, dang it. I
Gosh,
didn't say the other word.
Okay. So this kind of leads into my next two questions that are like, how many club members are friends outside of club meetings? And do you guys socialize outside of club meetings?
I mean, me and Zaire do, just because like I was friends with him before I even knew he was in the gardening club. So like, but I know I happily be friends with anyone outside gardening club. I've been trying to drag my friends in our current friend group to the gardening club, but they're just like, and I'm like, you have fun. And like it's just a whole thing. Zaire's been on the same train as me, being like, yeah, let's go, guys, it'll be fun.
It's either a fight between anime club, or Japanese club, or gardening club, and Japanese club always wins.
It's true.
I'm like,
Because we're
what?
friends with a bunch of weebs, but that's besides the point. But like I know, like I would love to be friends with people outside of club, because the whole point is to make friends and like have a good time. Like there's club friends, and then you can even have outside club friends. Like some people become like super close through the club, which
Yeah, like
which
really.
which is how I made some of my first friends. Neither of them really go to the club anymore, but I became friends with them through the club, and it was like it was great, and I love them to death. So
Like
like
a lot of people do become friends outside the club.
mhm,
Like is like usually like a connection they found. Like, oh, we have the same interest in gardening, and
mhm.
then it's like, oh, we have the same interest in something. Oh, we have the same major. Oh, we're taking this class. Oh, we're in the same class. Yes, that has happened before.
Oh, do you want to hang out outside of club? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm always happy to drag people into my friend group. I've done that multiple times. There's like I'm pretty sure like I don't know. I've I'll do it. Like if you say you're lonely and you have nothing to do and I find out about it, I will go out of my way to be like, you need something to do? Do you need you're more than welcome to come hang out with me. Like I'm cool, kind of,
We can go
maybe.
pick mint. Come on.
Go pigment.
Let's go
like it.
pigment.
um,
Uh,
how can students remain connected, or can they remain connected after they graduate?
So this is, I'm not sure, this is probably a question for both of us, because I know you're about to
mhm.
graduate, but this isn't, because we're in a group chat, so there's really no big difference for us. But usually
Yeah.
what I've seen is just more or less how they stay connected. It's like people usually exchange like social medias. I can't believe I'm saying that. Phone numbers or anything outside of that, and they like continue to talk. We don't have a really set group chat for each other, unless it's for the officers, and that usually change.
Yeah.
But it's like more or less like how we communicate outside when we graduate is just by like exchanging our social media accounts and just talking
Mhm.
by through there. Or I think we do have some people can like if you're a graduate student or some people that are like
Mhm.
like alumni that are also known like in gardening club they can come back to,
Yeah.
and I think with Dr. Zay's permissions or something like that because
Yeah.
but
Dr. Ray's pretty chill about it. Like sometimes we'll just have people in the area that have like gone to UNCG and were part of the club. Because I know our the past president from when I started gardening club. She came to a couple meetings. I think she's super cool. She's friends with Dr. A, and so um I know. Let's see. So like when I graduate, hope I'm probably gonna end up staying in Greensboro for a little bit. So I'd probably email her and be like, "Yo, can I come back and visit?" And she'd probably be fine with it. It just you'd have to like contact her and make sure it's okay because we love having the extra help and we love having people in general. So if you want to come and you just need something to do and you're not gonna feel awkward, then yeah, it's fine. Like
Okay,
from my
cool.
experience, we've had alumni come back and like visit and help with the garden. So if it's during
even
homecoming week and we're gardening, I'm sure they'd happily let you come back and visit. So
Okay.
like even I think some alumni even rent some plots to garden in
hmm
personally.
yeah, because gardening doesn't. I know the UNCG garden they rent plots out to help fund it, and like some people have their plots and then they'll come and actually do some of their gardening while gardening club is happening, and
Mhm.
then like they'll also do it outside of that. But like it's just it's a fun time. So, I mean, we're really pretty chill about like alumni coming back and about that sort of thing cuz um I also if you're super passionate about it in your alumni, this might happen for me. You can like always donate money to the club or whatever else too. We do take donations. I think the garden as a whole takes donations as well, so
Mhm.
Okay.
I
Good.
know other clubs, like I think our sustainability club.
Mhm.
I think they have at least they did like last season or the season before they had like a couple plots. I think that they used too. So
Yeah, they did. They had a couple
um,
plots. They were like in the far left.
mhm.
Very
The
cool.
honors college used to have a plot, but I think they gave it up because it was hard for them to keep managing. So,
Yep,
but
I
yeah.
should know because I had talked to Dr. Ali about that.
Yeah, I was in charge. They found out I was an honor student, so I was in charge of it for like a whole semester. And I was like, this is too much. I can't do this by myself
Yeah,
because like it was just the plot was huge. So I don't know if I think Gardening Club has taken that back over because it's like it's a huge plot, so it's very useful to
yeah,
have for
we have it back.
yeah. So
That's our plot.
it's our biggest plot. So yeah.
That one's that's the one that needs a lot of work majority of the time.
It's because it's so big, like we get so many weeds in there, so you kind of just you basically have to crawl into the plot kind of and like it's I
That
was in charge of that for like a whole semester and it was
like
it
I think
was a
last
pain.
sorry when we like started going back into the field and we were started working on that, we had to like unplant everything in that
Mm-hmm.
plot. It was so it was fun, but it was hectic.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
because
like
the
there
way
was
some
like
of the things were organized was terrible.
yeah, it's like there was an eggplant bush in the middle of the plot. Why? Why was
Put
that
that off.
there?
Put it off to the side somewhere. It doesn't have to be in the exact center.
Why was it in the middle? And then there was
Eggplants
like
can grow to like they can grow really big like the vines and stuff. So putting it in
yeah,
the middle of the plot is not the best idea unless you're devoting a whole plot to it.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just like why? And then like and seeing like all this eggplant that was never harvested on the ground, it made me sad. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, they
And,
grow vegetables and
uh,
then they just wouldn't go anywhere. So
yeah,
like there'd be, I remember for the semester I was in charge of it, it was like they had a bunch of spicy peppers. I don't like spicy peppers. Like I like them a little bit more now, but I don't usually like endeavor into the spicy side of things too much. So like I was like, "Hey guys, you want some spicy peppers?" Cuz like nobody's using them, so like have them.
yeah,
It's that
and
Yeah.
sort of
then
thing.
also the rosemary.
Oh, so much rosemary.
That you can't take because we do use that, but
Yeah, but like
you can take the mint.
you can take
Just
the mint.
what are some of your values and traditions? And do you have a mission statement? If you know it from memory, if not,
I
that's
don't know it from memory. I know we have one. I just don't have it memorized, which I
okay.
probably should as president, but I don't, so I apologize. But like traditions and values, Zaire, I'll let you answer that one.
So traditions, I think we answered this a little bit back. It's like harvesting, planting, and then the potluck, community service, talking to each like socializing and being well to each other, and also
Yeah,
teaching newcomers and even experts how to garden within a very tight confine, and like also spark the need to gardening. Because like me
yeah,
personally, I don't have a garden in my house, but I do have I think a 2x4 or wherever they're called, and some pots that I can use to garden whenever. I just don't have any seeds,
yeah. Um,
and it's just like that, and to teach people how to actually give back to
yeah,
the environment, and also learn to like take what you need and give back what you don't.
yeah. We're really about sustainable gardening. So and our where we garden is kind of like the plots that we put our stuff in is kind of small. There so if you have like a small area at home where you can like garden, like it's a good way to teach you how to use that space to like its greatest ability. I've learned a lot about being able to use space to like its maximum through gardening club, which I think is really good if you want to start like a garden. Like if you live in a city somewhere and you don't have like a lot of space, like if you have like a balcony or something, you can, yeah. So
Yeah, like little container gardening, even.
yeah, hmm
Yeah, cool.
it's nice to have that knowledge.
Yeah. For my next question, you may have not. So if you haven't, then just
hmm
you can skip. But I say, in your experience, how have you witnessed beyond academic students engaging in your club in the past? Maybe you know, maybe you didn't.
I have no idea, mostly because like that's kind of Dr. A's area because she's the advisor, so she knows all of that information. She's in charge of all those things.
Okay.
Um, so like I'm made aware of things that I need to be made aware of, and I conduct general like business. But as far as I know, I haven't had any like anybody from beyond academics. As far as I know, Zaire might have like unless they tell me, I usually don't ask questions. So it's usually like whatever you want to tell me is fine. Like if you feel a need to tell me something, cool. I'll
Yeah.
happily like internalize that information, especially if it's a medical thing. If it's a medical
Mhm.
thing, like if you're allergic to bees or something like that, you should probably tell us that.
Yes.
Like, please tell us that.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
Like Zaire with his grass allergy. We need to know those things.
yeah, I take my medicine. Don't worry about that. Like I come in like prepared, fully stocked.
Mhm.
But what was your question again? Because like I
Just
knew.
if you've known any beyond academics students that have like been involved in the club, and you may not because maybe they didn't say anything about it, or maybe you just didn't know.
No, I do not know anyone. I haven't taught anyone that's like within my tool schools areas that have been in the gardening club that are now out.
Mhm.
So I'm completely drawing blanks because that is, like Michaela said, more of Dr. A area.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She's in charge of more of like the private information that's shared with like her because she does all the advising stuff. So like I'm made aware of certain situations and like depending on what it is, I share it with the rest of the officers. But like most of the time it's her like at her discretion because she doesn't want to do anything that makes people uncomfortable and none of us want to make anyone uncomfortable. So like whatever is shared is like confidential information and things like that.
Yeah.
But if somebody tells me something and they're like, don't tell anyone else though, I'm like, okay, I won't. And that's just how it is. But
I
like,
should probably bring this up right now. So like, I think the president before you, Michaela,
mhm,
like event wise, if we have events, is usually for the club to do.
yeah.
Is usually for the club. We don't want anyone else to get involved because that's liability issues.
I don't.
This is like more or less. I think this was like more or less what the previous president was trying
Yeah.
to introduce, but I'm not sure. But this is like usually event wise, like big event wise, like within the garden, we are trying like we're really cautious about it because again, we don't want anyone to get hurt, and it's like
Yeah.
if anything happened in the garden, we probably get that taken away.
Yeah. So like, a big thing in the garden is safety, but we don't really have that many issues with like safety related stuff. If we do, we run across the occasional spider. So if you're scared, terrified of spiders, and we hear you scream, we're probably going to be like, you okay? And you're going to be like, there's a spider. And we're going to be like, it's cool. And then one of us will just whip out our shoe and probably step on it, depending on the type of
But we
spider
don't do that.
and where it is. Well, I've done that because
You've done that,
I
but
don't want to move it because I'm also terrified of spiders. So if it's somewhere in a stomping region, it's gone. Like,
someone
but
got like
it's
a
usually
shovel
only if
once.
it's like a poisonous spider or something
Yeah,
like that. But I don't think we've had any of those, at least recently, in the past
just
like
wolf
semester.
spiders.
Yeah.
Wolf spiders, I don't really care that much about. It's more of like I freak out about the little tiny ones for some reason, but not the big ones. The big ones don't scare me. It's the tiny ones, not the jumping spiders, but the other ones. And I just don't like them.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I'm not a spider fan.
Yeah.
How important is diversity to your club?
Very,
Yeah.
like
I'd say it's
very,
very important.
because
Yeah,
it's
in
like
what way?
so like I think we answered this a little previously because there's always like a new roster of people coming in and getting to know
Mhm.
people and seeing what people do like on and off campus and just getting to meet know people because like not to be offensive, Michaela, it gets a boring seeing the same people around on every
It's
single
true.
club meeting. And it's like it's always good to see a new face that's interested in gardening and
Mhm.
interested in working and interested in like anything outside of gardening, like just to have fun and be expressional and like very proactive about going outside and doing what they love.
Mhm. Are you sure? I don't know if I should feel slightly offended or not. Are you saying I'm not interesting, Zaire?
No,
Like,
I'm not
come on.
saying that.
I think I'm pretty entertaining.
No, you're
I
entertaining
know.
with an asterisk, but you're entertaining.
Excuse you. Okay. Back to focusing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes sense that you want new members and different kinds of people because
Yeah.
it takes a village to help the garden run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm if you're more concerned about like wheelchair access stuff, I don't know about that for sure because from what I've seen in the garden, I'm not sure we have very good wheelchair access. I
Mm-mm.
mean, if we want to
It's
develop that, we could probably do some fundraising maybe, but like it's something that I don't know. I don't think we've ever had anyone who I don't think I've ever had any interest from anyone who like was in any sort of like wheelchair or anything like that. I hope that's not sounding offensive or anything, but I've never had anyone come up to me with interest about it. But
Okay.
like if they did, I'm sure we could find a way to accommodate them for whatever they need. Like it's just like a work in progress sort of thing because we're always evolving as a club, like constantly adjusting and changing to fit the needs of whatever our people are within the best of our ability. So like it's just a process. So if somebody's interested but we might not have like the best way to enable them to like participate, then we're going to find a way somehow It's gonna happen. We'll make it happen if possible. Like
Yeah.
we
that's my
find a way.
that's my personal motto. We will always find a way. There's
Like,
always a way.
if we don't have enough money, like we can always build it. Because
We'll
again,
build it. It's fine.
like, we cook and we build too. So
Wow, yeah. Yeah. You guys you were hitting on my next question that was like, what kind of accommodations does your club provide if there were a need? And so
Yeah.
what I'm hearing you say is that maybe nobody's really come asking for accommodations yet, but you would be willing to
If we do, we'll figure it out.
yeah. Yeah.
like again, both of us are in the honors college,
hmm
and we can talk to some people about that.
Yeah. And like, if necessary, if we can't find a way in our budget, we can always contact the school and whatever offices are in charge of that sort of thing, and we'll work it out. Like, obviously, we'll need the person who needs the accommodating's input so we can get everything perfect for what they need, or just in general. But like, we will gladly go and talk to people and try and figure it out. Because if somebody wants to participate, UNCG is all about like inclusion and diversity, and we try to embody that in our club. And so it's really important that we like continue following like the same like mission statement similar to UNCG with like our own little thing, but like obviously diversity and inclusion is super, super important, and that's what we're here for, because we want everybody to feel safe and happy and obviously like loved and cared for, because we're just a big family and we like everyone to feel like included. And if your voice isn't being heard, then just like let us know, because we're willing to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. I feel that from you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Ultimately, we're here to have a very good time.
Yes, we're
With
good at
no
that.
alcohol though. So
Yeah, you don't need substances to have fun, man.
Yeah.
hey,
You
yeah,
just
just like
need to
get
go
high
with-
on life.
It's a good life lesson. You don't need substances to have fun.
Yeah. Does your club, and you've kind of spoken to this a little bit, but does your club connect in any way to academic or career skills? And if so,
Oh, sorry.
no, you're good.
Well, like, Michaela, do you want me to take this or you?
Well, whatever you don't say, I'll just add to it. So go ahead.
So I gotta say this again. So I'm in a business school and alongside in the art school, but this more or less plays into the business school. Usually, it's like when I talk to a lot of people, I think there was one girl who was in the gardening club. I don't remember her name to save my life,
That's okay.
but
It happens.
she was talking about owning a coffee shop
Mm-hmm.
and how like organic coffee and how that would play in like a community garden, and it was just more or less of like having people interact with the garden and seeing what they actually have to do and what extent
Mm-hmm.
people like actually take care of like an outside factor. And for me especially, when like for me, like I'm going to be hopefully starting my own business soon. I haven't told the group chat that yet.
Okay, I won't tell anyone. Mom's the
and
word.
and it's more or less like how to manage outside factors, how to manage resources, how to be on top of stuff, how to be able to know what I can take and what I cannot take, and what I can give back, and what needs more time to develop and ripen over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's much more abstract thought instead of like physical thought. It's much more abstract when I'm talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So like some of the skills that you're gaining
Exactly.
directly relate to like some of your career goals.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know part of the reason, like, in the past we've had a ton of bio majors join, just because like gardening, biology, like all of that kind of joins together and they use it. Like, I know we had some students in the past do like rent out a plot and do like a analysis of something that happened with the plot over a period of time. but like in a way, like you don't even have to be a bio major, obviously. But I think in the past, at least when I started, that was like our most common major because they promoted gardening club a lot in the bio department. And I'm trying to see if we can get. I want to reach out to some other departments and see if they'd be willing to promote it as well, just so we can get more like input. But like I know that like teamwork is something that we use a lot, so that's something you can use like in your career. And obviously all the abstract stuff Zaire said, I think it teaches a lot of patience too, because
Yeah.
you have to be patient with like waiting for everything to grow, and then patient with like yourself and what you're trying to do, because you have to have a lot of patience to try and like grab that crabgrass and get it out of the ground. Okay,
So
it is
much
so much.
patience.
It's just like you can't get frustrated and just throw in the towel. You gotta be like, okay, I can do this. And if you can't do it, then you ask for help.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess it also teaches you like asking for help and being able to like reach out to other people when you need something that you can't fulfill yourself, because like that's a good skill to have as well. So
Also, another thing to add is like accepting failure because none of us are perfect. And
no.
yeah, like I think we hit on this earlier was like the bunnies. Oh my god.
You
I'm
just
mad.
really are mad.
I am mad about that, but it's like yeah, we messed up, but we can always come back from it, and we had to accept that, and we learned from it. So it was like accepting failures, and then being patient, like you said, Michaela,
Mm-hmm.
and then always, always thinking of something new to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like if we're, because like I know what was it's like where we put our all the weeds so it can like decompose and we use it for soil the very
Yeah,
next
we have
year.
a
Yeah.
compost pile, but it's specifically only for garden club use, because we've had other people in the past put like their compost in it, like other food things. We don't want them happening, because then rodents and pests and stuff will start to like invade the compost and then also move into invading our garden, which can cause more problems. But so it's specifically for garden use only, like the garden club. But we
Yeah.
it's how like we wait for it to decompose, and then we use it as like soil and fertilizer and that sort of thing. But yeah, we
Because
just fire it pile if anybody likes composting.
but
I
I
mean,
think wasn't that compost station student built?
yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think they built that a few years before I joined.
Isn't
So
Yeah.
like we're always adding on to the garden.
isn't there a
Yeah, go
compost?
ahead.
Isn't there a compost like bin, like this big wheel thing that's near the walker? It's like kind of right
Yes.
near, yeah, like that religious kind of building that's got the
Hmm.
different like church organizations in it.
I
Hmm.
think there's one there, but that one's not associated with the garden. That's just like a school associated one, because I know the for a while there, the cafeteria was having that little like garden outside, like near the big fountain. The name I can't
Mhm.
remember of. This is like Kaplan Commons, I think is where it's called. Like they had that garden, which got covered in weeds, which made me really sad. But like I think that has to do with like the school like
Yeah.
itself and doing stuff. But I don't think it's associated with the garden club at all. Like
Okay.
I've never heard of it being associated with the garden club.
Okay.
Ours is specifically in the garden, like
Okay.
on that property. So yeah.
And then talking about that, it was like, and I think we hit about this was like accommodations. Like if we can make it, we can do it. It's also about like adding
Mhm.
on and being self-sustainable and just like
Yeah.
always improving and seeing where you can improve at.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Because
Learn
like
a lot of things about yourself through gardening and what you can handle. Just saying, like you learn about a lot about your like upper body strength and like strength in general. Because I know I humbled myself really fast the first time I started to pull. I'm gonna keep coming back to crabgrass, but that stuff is so hard to get up, and like it took me forever. And like I'd see somebody, like there'd be this girl in the next plot over who'd have this crabgrass, and she'd just pull it out, and it was like this huge one. And I'm just over here struggling still, and I'm just like, you're
how?
amazing. Like I'm jealous, but like, you know what I mean? It's also a workout too. So like if you don't want to go to the gym and you just want to like weed and stuff, it's not like an intensive workout, but like you're outside and you're like using your muscles and stuff. So if you like exercise, like, and even if you hate exercise, you'll still love gardening. Okay. Like I'm personally am not a huge exercise fan, but I still love gardening just because it's like you get hands on it. It's rewarding. You get rewards from it if you're a reward oriented person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually get to enjoy the things that
Mhm.
you grow, right?
Exactly.
Again, like that's in my mind, I didn't know. I didn't know if it was flowers
Mhm.
or what, but now that I know it's vegetables, I'm almost like more excited because I'm like, oh, I get to
Yeah.
have something, a little treat at the end of it.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Really,
We might not have something ripe immediately, like it'll take a few weeks, but you'll eventually get your reward for it
yeah,
doing it.
yeah. Gotta be patient. Yeah.
Gotta be very
Yes,
patient.
exactly. Patience.
And like even then, like there's some things that were there, like the butter beans. Ooh, you just eat them right off the vine.
I haven't had butter beans in so long. Oh gosh.
They were there last.
You're making me talking about all this food makes me hungry. It's been a while, Zaire. I'm wanting to eat now.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely hungry. I I'm ready to come to Garden Club. I'm
You're
ready
more
to
than
be
welcome
here.
to.
Oh, it
Like,
was like
you can be undergraduate, you can be a graduate student. Like, even if, like, we're mostly student oriented, but if a professor wants to come, like, as long as they're okay with being more casual and they're not like in their Sunday best, like, super professional clothes, they're more than welcome to come. But we're mostly student oriented and student led, with the exception of like, Dr. A, like, guiding us along the path to, because she knows so much about gardening. She's like the gardening god, I like to call her. I don't know why, but like I just feel like that's how she is. She's like all knowing, but like about gardening, it's yeah. She's great. I love her.
she is. She is. She's amazing.
Hmm.
Also on that note, experimenting. We're always experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't. So
That's an important skill for life, experimentation.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like we're always trying to do different recipes because
Hmm.
we cook a lot. Yes, Michaela, I'm talking about food again.
You're just hungry.
And it's just like experimenting, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. Because like I know like sometimes like I'll like, hey guys, do not cook this like this way. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And
I
and
always listen to Zaire's advice though, because like he's pretty good at cooking, and if he tells me not to do something a certain way, I'm like, okay,
You probably listen.
yeah.
Listen to the air. So when
probably should. Oh,
hmm
sorry.
no. I was just gonna say, so when I show up at Wednesday at 5, um,
Hmm.
should I have pants on probably and like closed-toed shoes, I guess?
Yes, wear closed-toed shoes because you're gonna be getting in dirt. There's gonna be bugs and like so wear like a pair of old like tennis shoes, or if you have work boots on campus or something, wear those. Some people do wear shorts. I usually like I have cargo pants that I've worn a couple of times because pockets are nice. If you have some
No.
pants with nice pockets, like that you're not afraid to get dirty, bring those, or like wear jeans. I know some people wear shorts though, like athletic shorts or whatever. So as
Mhm.
long as you're okay with getting it dirty,
Yeah.
like it's fine. Oh, I just thought of something.
Mhm.
Um, have work days periodically throughout the season. It's usually on a weekend where we like on a Saturday and we get together like in shifts and we work on the garden. And like I know for one of the first times I went to work days, we were redoing all the garden plots with all the dirt in the garden plots and like adding to it and stuff like that. So I know we do that periodically. And like before the semester ended, we were gonna have a second work day where we were going to put out a bunch of mulch because we had a bunch of mulch that we just gotten in that we were going to put
Oh
yeah
man.
that we were going to put down between the plots, and we didn't get to finish it. So I don't know Dr. A finished that or not. But it was like, I was so sad that we didn't get to do that because like it's so rewarding to be able to look at it at the end of the day and just see. But like we have signups for that, and we usually send out emails from where it's supposed to be and things like that. I'm thinking to get I'm thinking that I'm just thinking of things. I think we should try and get our more electronic basis because I know we've been doing a lot of stuff on paper, but I think if we expand out onto like electronic stuff, like maybe a Google Doc or something where people sign up for shifts instead of like doing it by hand, that might be better. So we're trying to become
Yeah.
like more efficient electronically without like having all the paper, but it's a process. So again, everything's a process. Growing is a process, and everything's
Yeah.
always growing and changing, and we want you to grow and change with us. It's a fun time. So
Yeah. Well, guys, you guys have taught me so much, even in this short time that we've gotten to talk. And
mhm.
I've had a lot of fun. I'm really
Yeah.
excited now. Is there anything that maybe I didn't ask about, or something that you just want to tell students? Something that's important, or something you feel like we didn't touch on or talk about, that you want to share?
I don't think so. What do you think, Zaire? Because I don't think I have anything else. I've rambled so much at this point. You've learned so much information you didn't really need to know, but now you know. So like,
That's okay.
I think like we already covered this, but it was like one thing that's like always expect new people to show up at the most
Mhm.
random time. Like you can
Mhm.
be like me. I remember I was like hoeing some crabgrass. Oh, and then like
Crabgrass.
someone came up behind me. I think this was like when everyone was just about to leave, and I was hoeing,
Mhm.
and I was putting up some stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, so this is the garden? And I'm like, are you serious?
Hi.
You just like you came here when everyone's gone, and I'm the only person here. Yes, this is the garden. Like this isn't a meeting day. I'm just here doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you're there, like people will talk to you.
Yeah,
Like if you don't like talking to people, this club, you'll make friends and then you'll start to like talking to people cuz like some of the most asocial people I've ever met in my life have become like super talkative at gardening club. So like
and like experts at gardening too.
yeah.
Like
So
real
like
quick.
investment, man. If you want to like make some friends and come out of your shell a little bit, then gardening club is a place for you.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to end it on.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Oh yeah.
wonderful message.
And one
Yeah.
more thing, this is more of a jokey thing. You may see people like in shorts for like the first week, and then the second week they're all wearing jeans.
Yeah. So it's a
Yeah,
learning experience, but I would suggest wearing pants the first time you come. But like
Okay.
jeans preferably because you're going to be in some dirt and they're very durable.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I think
Mhm.
I am going to stop recording. I'm gonna hit
Okay.
the stop button.